Let's talk about hot things, things that need to be made hot, things that need to be steamed,
okay,
like rice. Like,
all right.
Okay.
I was wondering where you're getting with that.
So, okay, from cold to hot, rice. It's been a topic of discussion in India. We Indians consume rice from north to south, east to west. There is absolutely nothing blocking us from consuming rice, irrespective of which culture we belong to in this country. And we sort of started holding on to our rice like our dear life because of prices going through the roof, and us making sure that people in India do not face any shortage or any price rise when it comes to rice. But looks like that winter of holding on to stocks is also thawing, because we're willing to send more and more rice outside of India. First, it was the United Arab Emirates, and looks like now India wants to export more rice to Singapore.
That's right, Krishna. I think, rice is as secular, as democratic as it gets, because it's not just north, south, east, west in India, but all of Asia. Okay. I think it's a rice-consuming belt. If you look at any Oriental cuisine, rice becomes a staple diet.
Absolutely.
Go further down to, America, southern part of America, Mexico, rice is part of, everyday
I was just
cuisine,
about to say.
Right? Yeah. So rice now... fortunately for India, unfortunately for the world, India is a major contributor to the rice basket of the world. So different estimates suggest anything between 40% to 60% of the world's rice is actually produced here in India. And India then exports that to other parts of the world. Now, a lot of developments over time. What have we been dealing with here domestically? We've been dealing with, barring data that came in earlier this month, we've been dealing with high double-digit food inflation. Rice inflation touching almost as high as 18%, 19%. So India had obviously, vested interests in holding on to its rice, and they said, let's try and keep the rice price low in India and put some restrictions on exporting the non-basmati white rice anywhere outside of the shores of India. So that got implemented on 20th of July this year, if I'm not mistaken. And it's been about 2 months since we have not really been the contributor to the rice basket of the world, barring a few countries which were facing some sort of a food crisis, humanitarian crisis. That included, in the original lot, Singapore, as well as Bhutan and Mauritius. Now, we have in the past opened up or sort of become a little more flexible in exporting rice to those 3 countries, and also to some parts of North Africa which were facing a food challenge. Add to that one leeway given to UAE last week, where we said that we are going to export 75,000 tons of rice to UAE and at a reduced minimum export price of about $850, reduced from about $1,200 per ton to about $850 per ton. Now, Singapore is now again, it hasn't really been able to overcome the humanitarian food crisis that it's facing right now. So another 50,000 tons of rice is likely to be exported to Singapore this month itself. Now, on the positive side for the rest of the world, and hopefully even for India, the Kharif crop is likely to yield good results this year. Okay. And we are hoping that this overall export ban on rice of any kind, white rice, non-basmati or basmati rice, should get lifted by end of September or as soon as the Kharif crop comes in. Hopefully, with 10% more hectareage, arable land that we have aggregated this year, there is likely to be better Kharif crop hitting the markets. But then we've also been dealing with unseasonal rainfall, which could reduce the yield per hectare. So let's see how much rice we get. But this ban is definitely likely to be lifted in a couple of days from now.
All right, so all eyes on October for the Kharif crop to come through, and going by the famous Green Day song, Wake Me Up When September Ends, so that we can figure out our rice situation. Interesting to always note the fact that the curb on exports was for non-basmati rice. For 2 reasons. One is that it is not the premium rice. It can be given for consumption for more number of people in India. And 2 is the fact that India makes tons of money by exporting basmati rice.
Absolutely
so you clearly don't want to stop the export of basmati rice.
But even on the premium basmati rice, the minimum export price had actually increased to about $950 per ton, because what Indian traders were doing fairly smartly, that they were branding non-basmati rice as basmati rice and exporting it as basmati for consumption as non non-basmati. So to sort of, to challenge that hoodwinking of the system, the MEP on basmati was also
Kartik,
increased.
we have a term for this. It's called
Innovation?
jugaad.
Jugaad? Okay,
it's
sure.
called
Bring
jugaad.
it on.
So this is the rice trader jugaad that's working for India. I mean, it's all about doing business and doing business smartly. And who better than Indians who have been doing business smartly for centuries? Once upon a time, India and China.
Thin line between doing it smartly and doing it ethically and abiding by the rules of the law and not sort of evading all the curbs. So
well, the point is that
I'm not sure I'm going to celebrate that yet.
Okay, well, all I can think of is that somebody sitting in Europe is not going to be able to tell the difference between a basmati rice and Indian. They're going to think, oh, Indian rice, and they're going to just like go for the Indian rice, quote unquote. But anyway, that's another debate for another day. But for now, the news is that India will be exporting more and more rice to the United Arab Emirates, and the latest is that Singapore as well.